Good evening. Um, this is Travis with Oscar Mike Radio on a special Tuesday night on assignment. My normal show is on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But tonight we're doing a special live stream with one of my favorite guests, Tom Kilgannon. Wow. From Freedom Alliance. Welcome back to Oscar Mike Radio. Tom, I have talked to you before. I do know your name. I don't know what's going on with me tonight. But anyway, I have Tom from Freedom Alliance back on. We have a special guest with Tom to talk about, what Freedom Alliance does and the effect they have on people's lives. Tom, would you please introduce Reese to us?
Sure, Travis. Always great to be on Oscar Mike Radio, and thanks for having me back. And do have brought a friend with me tonight, so we really appreciate it. Freedom Alliance, as you know, is a charitable organization, and we provide help and support to military families. And one of the programs that we have is our scholarship program, which gives tuition assistance to kids whose parents were killed or disabled in military service. And since 9/11, we've now given out over $25 million to thousands of students. And in order to help us represent those students and help us inform the public about the program and its meaning, each year we appoint an ambassador. One of our best students, somebody who is been involved with Freedom Alliance and done a lot of things with us, and of course, who is receiving a scholarship herself. And this year, we're really pleased and proud to have Reese Carwile with us. She is a Gold Star daughter, and she is just an outstanding student from the great state of Mississippi, getting wonderful grades in her classes, and is just a delightful young lady. And proud to have her with us tonight, Travis, to tell us a little bit about her dad, the sacrifices that their family has been through, and what this scholarship from Freedom Alliance means. So it's my privilege to introduce Reese. Reese, would you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank y'all so much for having me tonight. I'm Reese Carwile. I'm from Oxford, Mississippi. Hotty toddy. I attend Ole Miss, the University of Mississippi.
That
I know.
hurts.
I know.
I'm an LSU fan. Oh, that hurts.
I really love it though. I've pretty much been raised here, and to be able to attend school here is just, it's very sweet for me to be in my hometown and get to still see my parents whenever I want to and whatnot. So yeah, but it's been good. I'm an allied health major, and I have a minor in chemistry and biology. And
Wow.
so I know. And I'm currently applying to physician assistant school. So I haven't clicked submit yet, but I'm working on my application to get all that in and whatnot. I work in a hospital in Pontotoc, Mississippi as a phlebotomist. So I take people's blood, and
Needles?
I enjoy doing that.
You enjoy taking blood, Reese?
I know. I always say I don't like to hurt people, I promise, but
I hate needles. Like shots and I don't get along at all, Reese.
Man, she's hitting all your weak spots tonight, Travis.
I'm telling you, man. What do you do with a big baby like me, Reese?
Oh man, I don't know. I always say a prayer and fingers crossed, and we'll just hope for the best. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm really happy to be here and get to tell y'all my story and whatnot.
So about your story, reading about you and your father, he served in Afghanistan, and read about his passing, and it was a very young age for you when he passed, and you've had to carry that. And does it affect you or hit you a little bit more during Memorial Day weekend than other times of year, or is it constant? How's it feel for you, Reese?
It's different because I was young, but I was old enough to have so many memories of me growing up with him, and so it's definitely a different feeling. And Memorial Day can hit home, but I would say it's more random that it hits people grieve in different ways. And so, um, but definitely Memorial Day does, it's just a blinking reminder of that. And so, yeah.
So how did you become connected with Freedom Alliance? When I learned about, the mission that Freedom Alliance does, and I've talked to Tom several times here on Oscar Mike Radio, it just amazes me how many lives are impacted. So how did you guys become connected?
There was a reporter in the helicopter that was bringing my dad home. And whenever they landed, he told my mom about Freedom Alliance at the time. But of course, I was 5 and my sister was 3. And so that was probably the last thing on my mom's mind, to be honest. But she was grateful that there were people there to help later on in our life. So that was the first moment that we first heard about Freedom Alliance. And so when it got time for us to start applying for scholarships for college and whatnot, I'm the firstborn, and so I was the guinea pig with everything, filling out a FAFSA and applying for scholarships. And so now I say I've paved the way for my little sister. But
I'm the oldest too, and we are the the shield bearers of life for our younger siblings,
that's
right?
what it feels like sometimes. I will
Right, we
say.
go through it all first, and we gotta take all the lumps. How was the process? Because, it's nothing's like hearing it from somebody who's actually been through it, but you go through the process, you meet the Freedom Alliance people. What was that like?
Oh, Wanda Cruz at the time was over the scholarship fund, and she was wonderful. She reached out to my mom about the scholarship and whatnot, and she really just took my mom's hand through the whole process for sure. Um, my mom was definitely the leader in the process. She was the one aligning the money and where it needed to be and whatnot. And so her and Wanda really got together on working all that out for freshman Reese for sure. But Freedom Alliance just made it easy. They're the ones that come to you. They really do. They scout out, people to email and talk to and, assess needs and whatnot. And so they really just they took our hand and ran with us, and it was, you know, just we just clicked from the beginning, to be honest.
So, this happens, Tom, and, a couple of years ago is when we first started talking, and you said this never gets old. And you take it as a real honor to be able to serve Americans this way. What's it like seeing Reese, getting ready to launch into her life at this point after what Freedom Alliance has done for her and her family?
Well, I think it's fantastic because number one, as you can already tell, Reese is a very special young lady and works real hard and is taking the kinds of courses that I can't even pronounce, and she's excelling in them. And and this is a very special time in her life, and it's a time when I know her dad would want to be there, and I'm pretty confident she would want her dad here with us. um, but you get to become a part of the students' lives, to the extent that they'd like you to be, and you kind of help them through it. So in addition to the scholarship, where you're giving financial support, we'd like to have Reese out at events and talk to her and provide mentorship and guidance, and then with this kind of an opportunity for the ambassadorship, it gives her an opportunity to go across the country and see places that she hasn't had a chance to visit yet, to meet people, to work on her public speaking and talk to community organizations, and come on the best podcast in America, which is Oscar Mike Radio.
Well, thanks, Tom. Thanks. I really appreciate that.
But the most important part, and it's great that America is getting to meet Reese tonight. But what Reese gets to do is introduce her dad, Don Carwile, to America. And Don Carwile, I did not know him, but I can tell you this much: he was a great man, and he was a loving husband, and he was a loving father, and he was a patriot. He took an oath to support and defend our Constitution. He went overseas. He put himself in harm's way, and he made the ultimate sacrifice. And when he does that, Travis, as you know, just like all of those 7,000 plus service members who perished in Iraq and Afghanistan, they're men and women of faith. They believe in God, they believe in the Bible, but they're also people who believe in their fellow countrymen, and they have this sense that if something happens to them, America and her communities are going to rally around the family that they left behind. And so that's what we see as our obligation at Freedom Alliance, and why we're happy to reach out to the Carwile family when it came time for Reese to go to school. And as we got to know her, we just knew she was going to be in this position representing Freedom Alliance to all the great people of America.
It's really great to see the other side of this, Tom, because I've talked several times, and we've discussed different facets of Freedom Alliance and what you all do in this space. I guess, Reese, this is really an exciting time in your life, and you have so many things that you have done. And to Tom's point, I'm listening to what you're taking in classes. I'm like, it's quite possible that you are smarter than Tom and I put together. So
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
right. I mean,
Oh,
that but at this point in your life, is there a sense of excitement and readiness to see what is out there in the world?
oh yeah. Um, I feel like college is just like you're getting ready, you're putting all your gear on, you're getting, learning all you can, and then you're out there and you're doing what you're, called to do. And so this is an exciting time for sure, especially as I'm, applying for different schools and going through that process and whatnot. It is nerve wracking because you want to do well, and you feel like you've done all you can to do well, and you just hope, and pray that it works out. But I will say it's an exciting time for sure to, you know,
So just to
try to
step
put
back a
myself
little bit,
through it.
what got you into like this healthcare, science, and research field? I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, so my mom, after my dad passed away, my mom went to nurse practitioner school. And so, which she's just, superwoman herself, but to have two young kids and go back to school and do that is crazy to me. But she's a true role model, really. She really got me involved into that. And then she actually got remarried to a Marine, and he is a physician assistant at the same hospital that I work at. And so it's been really fun to get behind the scenes and learn all I can. And he really tries to show me all that he can. And so that's kind of how I got started into it. It's just something that I've been kind of put in, and I really do feel called into it. And so I'm
You
excited
you
to
you
see.
like this because I've talked to nurses before, and that is kind of a calling to take care of another human being who's in distress, and you got to have a certain kind of mindset to do that.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's something I've prayed about a lot, and I feel very led into. And I have a sense of nervousness because I want it all to work out, but at the
Yeah,
same time, I know that the plan is already laid out, and I just want to be where God wants me to be, honestly. But
a lot of I don't take this the wrong way. Kids, I can't believe I'm saying this because I've got sons your age, and they're still my babies, right? But they're trying to start life, and there's so much uncertainty there. You know, where does this come from that you're so like locked on to what you want to do, and you're ready to take those next steps? Because, and the reason I ask is you have this like mentor in Freedom Alliance with you, and they're kind of helping you along, watching you through your journey. What's that been like?
the support and encouragement from Freedom Alliance has been, amazing. Um, I will say that as they have came alongside me and supported me, I've been really thankful for it. But I can't help but think about the kids whose parents really aren't there to support them, and how Freedom Alliance helps them. Um, because I see the way that they help me, and I do have a loving mom and a stepdad who love and support me. But to be able to put myself in other people's shoes and see the way Freedom Alliance helps them, it's it's magical, honestly, and it is something that is very hard to describe because these are people who care so much about kids, you know? It's different. It's very different.
So
Travis, if I can jump in
yeah,
there
sure.
and just add to what Reese is saying, is one of the opportunities that we provide are retreats for our Gold Star students. And in 2 weeks, Reese will be leading up a group of about um, 12 to 15 students who will visit the Washington, D.C. area and um, and bring these kids together so that they get to meet one another and learn from one another and comfort one another. And many of them, like Reese, don't have that other student in their life until an opportunity like this comes along. And so, because they all have that same um, tragic experience in common, they come together real quick and form very, very strong friendships in a short period of time. But it takes the leadership of somebody like Reese to make kids who are maybe a little bit uncomfortable at first to create those scenarios and situations where they feel comfortable in talking and sharing, what they've been through.
So kind of like, when I started, I didn't fight alone or go into, things alone. You're not going through this time of your life alone, Reese. You have your parents, you have Freedom Alliance, and you have these other children who know only too well what you've gone through. Um, it is Memorial Day weekend, and loss does come close to us. But I tell people that those who I lost and others who've lost would want us to live. Is that what you think your dad would want us to do? Is to live and be great Americans and love our country during this time, Reese?
Oh, absolutely. My dad was, a true patriot, and so, um, he would want us to come together during this time and, support one another and encourage one another, and so, um, yeah, I feel very strongly about that, that especially during times like Memorial Day, this is the time that we come together and really, um, support one another.
You got Memorial Day coming up, and then 4th of July, and I have to ask because, and I'll explain why in a second, just to get lighthearted. Does Mississippi allow fireworks?
Mississippi is very pro fireworks.
Now,
We
now,
love our fireworks around here.
the reason I ask is I moved to Massachusetts, coming from Louisiana, right? We're also pro fireworks down there. In the birthplace of our country, the birthplace of freedom, fireworks are forbidden. You may not have them. And I'm like, what is this? And they're forbidden. It just really makes a damper on my fourth and being American. I don't understand why, but it's good to know that Mississippi has done it right. Um, Tom, this is probably like I know, you know, it's a lot to get these things done sometimes and have these conversations, but this really, to me, ties together everything we've talked about over the last 3 years. You sat there and you taught me about Freedom Alliance and then some of these children's lives you have impacted in the programs. Y- you know, what is next for you all as you go into 2025? Is it just impacting more children's lives? Is there other programs you guys are creating?
Well, certainly we've still got a lot of students like Reese that need to go to school that are still 15, 16, 17 years old and not yet graduated from high school. So we'll be caring for them. We'll be working with them in the same way that we're working with Reese. Um, but we've also got coming up is America's 250th birthday. And so I think Freedom Alliance will be taking a look at that and how we can celebrate it and celebrate it in the context of the great patriots like Don Carwile and so many others who have fought and bled and sacrificed over those years. And so we want to create opportunities to remember them as America celebrates this great milestone that's coming up. And of course, as you know, Travis, we also take care of wounded veterans, and we've
Yeah,
got a group of wounded veterans as we speak up in Sitka, Alaska, who are on doing some recreational rehab and working with each other the same way our students do to get over that emotional injury, that moral injury. And we've got a big tournament coming up in September, our War Heroes on Water tournament out in Southern California. And we've got a lot of programs going on as we speak. Last week, I was in Minneapolis to give new vehicles to two of our Gold
that's
Star
right.
students. So we're very blessed at Freedom Alliance to have the support of the public. And anybody who's listening to us now and wants to contribute to those efforts, please see us at freedomalliance.org. And you'll be helping kids like Reese. You'll be helping wounded veterans and you'll be helping a lot of people who have really done great things for this country.
So I just posted that URL in the chat. Tom, we got Michael Geary of Hellfish Haven. He's a veteran services organization here in Massachusetts who just loves the whole approach that and what you've done for our heroes, other people checking in across the nation. So this has just been an amazing time because again, folks, I think Tom, you're like the lead now of the most times coming on Oscar Mike Radio over the last 8 years. I'm really happy about that.
Do
Although
I get a
number
prize for that? Like a set
well,
of steak knives or a gold watch or something?
well, you get a nice big attaboy pat on the back because number two is not happy that she lost her crown to you. But um, it's just one of these things being able to meet someone like Reese who's gone through the program, who's starting her life out and being able to take it to the next level of what she's going to do is just really brings the whole purpose of this all together. So I just want to thank you all for coming on. I guess my last question for Reese is, and I don't know if you can say this, but you have a sister. Is your sister looking at going through the Freedom Alliance program as well? I don't know if you can speak to that, but it came to mind.
Yeah, my little sister, she is actually 18 months younger than me, so we're pretty close in age.
Yeah.
But she is a Freedom Alliance scholar, and so she also gets all the things that I do. And so it's really sweet to have her kind of go through this with me. Um, well, I'd say bittersweet, but definitely, a shoulder to lean on as we go through this process for sure.
So I'm going to ask a favor. When your sister, goes through her time, would you both consider coming back on and sharing with us? I think it'd be really a very nice tribute to what you guys have accomplished and what Freedom Alliance has done for you all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We would be happy to be here anytime for sure.
Oh, speaking of sisters, my sister Heather Staffel from Round Rock, Texas, is checking in, and she says, "Good luck, Reese. You're an amazing young lady. Sisters are really special to me, and I got a good one there." So, um, Tom, any last closing words before we shut this down? I know you guys are Oscar Mike yourselves, so I just appreciate this time.
Yeah, hey, Travis, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to introduce Reese to all your listeners and viewers, and and just say how proud we are to have Reese representing Freedom Alliance. She is just a great spokesman, and given what has happened to Reese and her family, losing her father at such a young age, I think nobody would blame her if she were mad or upset or carried a grudge, but she doesn't do any of that. I mean, just look at who she is and the joy and the optimism, and that's because um, she wants what she does and what she says and what she accomplishes to be a tribute and an honor to First Lieutenant Don Carwile, and that's a tribute to her that she does so with such grace and courage, and there are others like her, but she's our standout. Reese, you did a great job, and we're proud to have you representing Freedom Alliance.
And my sister closes with this. Thank you, Freedom Alliance, for all that you do to support veterans and their families. So, Reese, just all the best to you in your future endeavors. You're a great American and a true, uh, your father would be proud of you. So, Tom, I am just humbled and honored for this opportunity to talk with Reese, and it's always great talking with you. And all the best to you guys.
Thanks, Travis.
Again, I am Travis with Oscar Mike Radio. On a special Tuesday night announcement, I have Tom Kilgannon from Freedom Alliance and the recipient of the Freedom Alliance Scholarship Fund, Reese Carwile, in memory of her father. Both of you, thank you. All the best, and we will see you next time. We are Mission in Flight.